What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey there. Hey.
It's Rick on the Rocks' dad. Fantasy football extravaganza. Week 1.
Almost.
Almost. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow technically is week 1.
Yeah. It is.
Dog shaking the table.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
So what are we thinking about? We've both been drafting teams. Dad and I, well, actually, Dad was making fun of me yesterday. I fell into the black hole that is drafting free teams on a site. Then all of a sudden, you went for one team and have 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's my good friend Chris Spelling. Big Bears fan. What's up, Chris? How you doing? So yeah, I think between the two of us, we've got like 15 teams.
Or something.
It's just going to be ridiculous.
But you hear a lot of these experts that are, I was just listening to XM Radio, Channel 87, by the way, is the fantasy channel. And the guys that do that, the Roto-Gronder guys or whatever site they're on, I mean, they got 11 teams and all this stuff. And that's their season-long team.
Well, do they do that for a living? They write about it, and they talk about it, and they get paid for it.
Yeah, they're pros. They're pros, believe me.
Go Bears. He knows.
Yeah.
Big week for us.
Yeah.
Chris. Big week for the Bears.
The pack. Hopefully they'll fare better than our beloved Seminoles did in their season opener. So
college football was just I'll say a crap show this past week.
One thing I want to mention, I probably mentioned it before. I know in past years I've mentioned it, but check your matchups. We've already touched on that. Defenses in particular.
We both have this week
I mean, if you have a defense that you think is going to be good for the season.
You were supposed to pick up when I said that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We both have for this week our pick.
Oh, I don't know. Who's our pick this week?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Against the Browns. It's a no-brainer. You want a defense that'll score 6 to 10 points? Go with Pittsburgh. Seriously.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh's defense isn't great anymore, but it's still pretty good.
Shaka!
So anyway, by the by, as of 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, Le'Veon Bell, the All-Pro running back for Pittsburgh Steelers, still has not
shown up,
reported to training camp, and they're now speculating that he's going to hold out till week 10 and then report, because if he shows up at week 10 and plays the next 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever that is,
week 10.
Yeah, he'll still be vested for this season and be eligible to be a free agent. Yeah, absolutely.
Greetings, Shaka.
So that's the latest. So a little tip, by the by.
So maybe we shouldn't pick up Le'Veon Bell, or pick him up and just bench him for 10 weeks.
But
we haven't gone that far. We've done 5, 6.
The thing is, what I would do if you're going to play the Pittsburgh defense and you happen to have access to Roethlisberger like I do in one of my leagues, and Antonio Brown is still an excellent, one of the top 2 or 3 receivers for Pittsburgh. Their probable starting running back is going to be a kid by the name of James Conner. I think this is his second year. He ran the ball for him some last year. And he might be somebody you might want to pick up for a couple of games, whether you have any Pittsburgh guys or not. Because they're going to run their offense with or without Le'Veon Bell.
It looks kind of weird when I'm rubbing the dog on camera.
Yeah. Well, don't do it then.
I'm literally scratching my dog.
Two other players, let me mention while we're talking about this. I have one fairly long-term suspended person on one of my teams, and that's Melvin Ingram, the running back for New Orleans. I believe he's eligible to play again in week 5. And the nice thing about Melvin is that he's also a good receiver. So even if they put him in the same backfield with Alvin Kamara, there's plenty of opportunities for him.
Yeah, and Shaka, good value. Yep.
And the other one I'm iffy about is LaShawn McCoy, who's a terrific running back. He's probably not going to play for a couple weeks, and he's got some serious legal problems.
Yes.
he's with the Bills.
Yeah.
And you don't know whether he's going to be around or not. Josh Gordon of Cleveland Browns, a terrific receiver, but they're trying to work him back into the system. But
those are two iffy calls.
When he's available in most leagues.
Right, a bunch of people saying don't touch LeSean.
But I wouldn't touch any of those people. They're just taking up roster space.
Yeah.
Ingram is just a matter of it's a suspension. There's nothing wrong with him. He'll have fresh legs in week 5, and I'll be happy to find a spot for him.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like your starter might be out by week 5.
Oh yeah.
You might have half of your people. We've experienced that. That we've had to go in the middle of the season, or even like 5, 6, 7 weeks into the season, and try to go find somebody that we can get some points out of.
Most quarterbacks, for instance, don't play every game.
No.
Most running backs miss a game or two. Most wide receivers miss a game or two. So
Shady is getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah. But since he's the man in Pittsburgh, in Buffalo, he gets a lot of carries, and he did really well for me last year. The couple of times I used him, I remember I used him in that snow game that they played up there.
God. That was actually
went on
forever,
which was a lot of fun to watch. But I believe Shady broke a touchdown in that game.
Shaka says he likes Josh Gordon.
Well, I just mentioned Josh Gordon. He's someone you may want to take. Cleveland hasn't decided exactly how they're going to use him yet. They're trying to get him into game shape and have him practice. He's certainly worth picking up if he's available in your league and sitting him on your bench.
Yeah, because you don't want him to explode and then not be able to get him.
Because he's a top 5 to 10 receiver for sure.
Yeah.
But he's a bit of a head case. In fact, he's a lot of a head case often. And it's just a matter of that's why you have a bench. Okay, you got up here, you got your starters. Let me see. Up here, you got your starters, and down here, you got your bench.
Yeah.
And it's okay to stick some guys on there that you don't play much, but you think you may need them, or you can spot play them, or somebody gets hurt. So.
Well, and that's the thing is, and we found out, and a few years ago, it wasn't so much we weren't seeing a lot of like running backs or wide receivers. We were seeing tight ends go out that fast. There weren't any tight ends. There weren't any healthy tight ends that could score you points in NFL like 5, 6 years ago. They're just like halfway through the season.
Other than the top ones.
There weren't. I mean, well, we had – was that the year that Jordy Nelson? Was it? Yeah. And now what you're seeing is, that you're still having a problem with tight ends. Wide receivers are going out that fast. Running backs are going out that fast. Quarterbacks are going out that fast. So you've got to have a really good bench, or at least have a really good mind space about, I'm not looking like one step ahead. I might have to look 5 steps ahead. I might have to watch this guy that got like 80 yards receiving, who no one's ever heard of, and maybe keep him in the back of my mind for a week or two, and then go pick him up before he, if he has another 2, 3, 4, 5 good games in a row.
Yeah, that's what the bench is for stockpiling people that you might be able to use. But don't be ridiculous with it. Make sure they're good, solid players that can fill in, whether you get an extra defense, which I almost always have, an extra quarterback, which I would highly recommend.
He's a game breaker.
For anybody. And then during the week, I play fantasy baseball. We started the playoffs Monday in fantasy baseball. I have to do that every single day, and there's somebody hurt. There's this.
I'll call him and I'll get that. I'm setting up my fantasy team. I'm gonna call you back.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But with football, you at least have a break from Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
For you to take a look at your roster, see who's questionable for the week coming up, and if you'll read the comments, you may discover that they're not going to be ready for this next game.
Well, and the other thing that we figured out, and Dad especially, I just got my Sling TV because I only get Sling TV for the football season. I don't need it other than that. But Yeah, there's so much information with fantasy shows, fantasy football TV shows. You can kind of pick and choose and see who's doing what. And of course, we talked about it, everybody's got their own style. We've got our own style of playing. Shaka seems to think the roster adjustments are a must. Absolutely.
Yep.
We do that constantly. Chris Bellick, Cameron Meredith.
Yeah.
Dad, are you familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say about Cameron Meredith?
He's a very, very good player. I think, what are you thinking, Chris, as far as Cameron is concerned? Yay or nay? I would pick him up. Why not?
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Dad's giving you a thumbs up on Cameron Meredith.
He was a good serviceable player for the Bears.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So why not?
I've been up since 3:30.
The other thing is, let me mention this, and I thought about this earlier. This is your team. So there's nothing wrong with you picking guys you want to pick, whether they may be the top things, whether your buddies laugh at you. It doesn't matter.
We do promote fun. We're promoting you to
this
have.
This is supposed to be fun. This isn't
fun.
This isn't DraftKings or FanDuel or my corner bookie or whatever, where you're spending money. Okay, most of these leagues are free. ESPN, Yahoo, NFL.com. This is all free stuff. So it's supposed to be fun. I like to win. I'm in the championship round.
We're both bad.
I'm in the championship round in one of my two baseball leagues, and I'm still pissed because I finished fifth. Top four go to the playoffs in the other league.
Dad and I have said this before. I stopped paying for fantasy football a few years ago because it just made me insane, like even more insane, because I already want to win.
Thank you, Chris. I couldn't remember, as you could probably tell, what team Cameron Meredith was with.
The Saints.
Yeah.
Saints have a lot of talent. There's a lot of good players.
They're a great offensive team.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players to grab off the Saints right now.
Yeah. Drew Brees is always underrated, but I
pushing
New
40
Orleans
and
last
still.
year over and over. I used him the year before that.
Who's the one guy that Golden Tate?
Yeah, he's Detroit.
Yeah, Shaka agrees. They're a good sleeper pick.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we're having a good time. We're doing this for free.
Since we're on this, I just happen to have here two of my leagues, my pro football leagues. Okay.
2 of his 5.
Yeah, sure, 10, or it's growing by the moment. I looked just a couple hours ago and printed off the quarterbacks that are still available on the waiver wire. Now, I hope none of my quarterbacks get hurt, but I've got 2 quarterbacks on every team. This one team, I've got Alex Smith and Roethlisberger. The other one, I've got Matthew Stafford and Phillip Rivers. Now, those are 2 pretty, that's in a 1 quarterback league.
Fair to me. I got Drew Brees, and I picked up Mariota yesterday.
Yeah. Now, these quarterbacks are available right now in one of my leagues. Blake Bortles of Jacksonville. You say, yeah, Blake Bortles, yeah. But remember, with their defense, that offense is going to have the ball an awful lot.
Yes.
Case Keenum, probably not a good idea. Tyrod Taylor.
Yes.
Very interesting from Cleveland. He may well end up being not only the starter for the next few weeks, which he likely is. If he does well, he could be the starter for some time to come.
Yeah, I agree with you.
As far as this season is concerned.
I've got Shaka on one of my teams. I've got Golden Tate.
Mariota's available. Derek Carr, the Oakland quarterback.
I like Mariota. We used him some last year, and I liked his results. He's not a guy that you want to play every week. But I've got Drew Brees as my pocket guy, as my go-to guy, and then I've got Mariota.
Jameis Winston is there. He'll be eligible to play in week 4.
Week 4.
Of course, Eli and Flacco. Michael Trubisky, the Chicago quarterback. I mean, he might be a good backup.
I think the Buccaneers' offensive line is just going to be. I think
we'll see. By the time Jameis is off suspension, you'll know.
Yeah, once they lose their first 3 games, figure it out.
But their schedule is horrific. So
I love. You get Mariota, you get running and pat. Yeah, absolutely, Shaka. Yeah. Totally. That's like I said, we used him quite a few times last year, and he worked out really good for us in certain games.
A lot of people say, oh, Mariota just isn't doing too well as a pro. He's underachieving. It's the system he's in, and there's nothing he can do about it.
100%. Yeah, totally agree.
If he would get into a decent system that would highlight,
he'd be a star.
Yeah, he would be a Russell Wilson type player. I'm convinced of that. He's got the same skill set as Russell Wilson.
Good comparison.
Yes, it is. Thank you. That's why I get paid the big bucks. Yeah, well, something like that. So anyway,
you got a free ride to the studio today. You didn't have to pay for an Uber.
All the way across the street. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. I really appreciate that. So anyway.
It cost me 17 cents in gas to come and get you.
All right.
All right. So what else are we looking at here?
Well,
sleeper. Oh, I see you've got sleepers.
Yeah, we're not going to do sleepers first. We're just going to do.
I just got shut down. Why aren't we doing sleep? What are we doing?
Oh, you want to do sleepers?
No, we don't have to. I mean, if you've got.
Well, these are just some that I wrote down that are available.
What were you wanting to go to before sleepers?
Well, we haven't really covered wide receivers and tight ends.
Okay, well let's do that first, and then we'll go to sleep.
And you say, oh, but the season starts tomorrow. Yeah, but I know people, including Rick on the Rocks, who are drafting on Friday.
Yes.
There'll be a lot of people drafting this weekend before the Sunday
My next
games.
team drafts
even though there's
Friday.
a game Thursday night. There'll be a lot of leagues that, for whatever reason, will still be drafting. The wide receiver projections from, let me see, our crack staff here is
the interns have still not fixed this table.
As they've written out in crayon some stuff for me here.
I'm gonna have to go to IKEA. I'm gonna send an intern to IKEA to get me a new table.
Yeah, just a few. If you're still drafting or wondering, Antonio Brown and Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins from Houston, Julio.
I grabbed DeAndre
Julio
Hopkins.
Jones, Odell Beckham. That's pretty much considered the top four.
Yeah.
After that, some combination of Michael Thomas.
And I got Mike Evans too. Actually,
Yeah. Keenan Allen, AJ Green, Devontae Adams from Green Bay. Would be the next tier, and then you get down to Adam Thielen from
which we're big fans,
Minnesota,
huge fans. They the ball
actually was in daily fantasy.
Also, one of my backup guys, I got Ty.
Larry Fitzgerald out in Arizona, playing his 27th consecutive season.
34th year.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill from Kansas City, the long ball specialist. That guy was terrific last year.
Yeah, it was.
So we'll see. That's just a few.
There's some really good names
in
the top 20. There's some.
My favorite name guy is Juju Smith-Schuster. Who's a backup wide receiver, but he's utilized a lot with, once again, Pittsburgh. So it's Juju. And there's Golden Tate in the list. You got Allen Robinson with the Bears.
Wow, I didn't realize I've got 4 good wide receivers.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Just by accident.
Yeah, I did an auto draft. I had completely nothing to do with me, except picking up Mariota.
Tight ends, pretty much know who they are. The top ones, of course, are Gronk, Travis Kelce with Kansas City, and then Ertz, the tight end from Philadelphia. And
then we got Greg Olsen.
Yeah, and then Greg Olsen, who I'm just reluctant to take anybody that's on that team with Cam Newton, because they just it's so erratic with him at quarterback.
Shaka says Eric Ebron is going to be a super pick this year.
People are picking Ebron. They're also picking Evan Ingram, who would be the other one that is people are looking at. They're also thinking that Tampa Bay's got a couple of good tight ends. Evan Ingram him is with the Giants, and they're figuring that he's going to get a lot of work there. So I like tight end by the name of Walker that plays for the Titans, even though the Titans don't score a lot of points, unfortunately. He's done me real well in the past. I like Olsen. I'm a big Olsen fan, but Carolina,
we've used him a lot.
I'm not a Cam Newton fan.
We are not. At the Rick on the Rocks and Dad show, we are not Cam Newton fans
No.
at all, ever.
He can get you a lot of points on any given Sunday or Thursday night or whenever.
Or you'll get 3 points.
But then the next time he plays, it'll just be and
plus he's a jackass.
Well,
I know that's not why we picked these. You know, maybe you could have a team of no jackasses.
It's a free league. I can pick guys I like.
Every time I watch him, he pisses me off. You know, and Shaka knows we went to college in California. Went to college in North Carolina together. We got a lot of friends that are Carolina fans, and I do not get it. I don't get it at all, any way, shape, or form.
Well, Shaka, I just noticed that you happened to mention Andrew Luck.
Yes.
The returning quarterback in Indianapolis. I have some serious doubts.
Although we like Luck, that's not the problem.
I have some serious doubts about him completing the season. I really do.
Is it the offensive line, or is it just him personally?
Well,
you think he's not physically ready?
I watched one of his exhibition games a couple weeks ago, the one where he did pretty well. But he still doesn't – he's not throwing the long ball. He threw a lot of short passes. I mean, I'm sure it was by design to work him back into the mix.
Probably, yeah.
But I wouldn't draft him. I wouldn't have him as backup. I'd just stay away from him.
Oh, wait, would you give him a couple weeks and just see?
Well, I don't know, because it's almost like he's an accident waiting to happen.
Oh,
the problem, I agree with that. The problem with some players is that they're accident prone for whatever reason. It just seems like they can't stay healthy.
Who was the guy that was the quarterback for the Redskins? That poor dude. And I told you when he got drafted, I was like, this guy's not going to last 4 years in the NFL.
A lot of these
RG3.
Yeah.
Wasn't so much accident prone as he had coaches that ran him into the ground.
Yeah.
Didn't give a damn if he got hurt or not.
Luck has some decent supporting guys around him, but I don't know. What do you think, Chaka?
Right,
put a post up there about Andrew Luck, or have you?
He's a tough SOB, but he does
take an excessive
amount. No, you're right. Takes a lot.
And he doesn't shy
hits.
away from hits, which bothers me.
Shaka answered my question before I answered it.
Yeah.
RG3 was I was like, this guy just was in the wrong place with Washington. Just beat his ass into the ground. He took a beating. I was like, this guy isn't going to last 4 years. It's going to be awful. And it's too bad because he has a lot of talent. Plus, son of a bitch needed to eat like a Happy Meal or something. He did not have enough weight on him for playing the NFL in any way, shape, or form.
Happy Meal?
Well, no. I felt like he was like in the WWE with 327 pounds. And they're like, oh, he weighs 231. The hell he does. He might be 200 if he's a second. Yeah. I was like, he needed more weight on him. He needed more it was a mess. It was awful to watch because he was such a talented dude.
And there's been, through the years, particularly at running back, there's been some really talented running backs that just can't stay on the field. Mm-mm. And that's a real problem.
And although we're Bears fans, we're hoping that our good friend in Minnesota, Mr.
Devontae Freeman. No, Devontae Freeman is our FSU guy. We're talking about Dalvin Cook, of course. They both have the same letter to start the first name.
I'm praying that Dalvin. I'm praying that Dalvin. Hi, Gino. What's up? No lower bird legs. Absolutely, that was the problem, Shaka. It was awful.
Yeah.
No, Dalvin Cook. I'm hoping he doesn't end up being that dude because I think he's got so much potential. I think he could be a great
Oh yeah.
But these days,
I just saw some highlights yesterday or the day before from his first 4 games. He got hurt in the fourth game, and it's phenomenal.
It was insane.
But we're used to seeing it at Florida State. He was just terrific.
Didn't see him much on Monday.
No,
in fact, we were quite missing him.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Good to see you too, Gina.
By the way, I've got a bold prediction.
Oh no!
Yeah, this is.
Wait, what are we doing? What are we doing?
This is Chicago centric bold prediction.
We had big news in Chicago, Dad. Tell them a little something about the big news in Chicago this week.
What new big news in Chicago? I'm doing a bold prediction.
Okay, sorry.
Then we'll do the big news in Chicago. My bold prediction.
Where are my interns?
Yeah. My bold prediction is, in fact, it's in the form of a question.
Oh, okay.
I'll ask a question.
Sure.
Which team will sign Jay Cutler?
What?
Yep. Within the first 6 weeks of the season, to either be their backup or their starting quarterback.
That came out of nowhere.
Who is it going to be? Yeah.
You think we're going to do this again? Like, seriously?
If somebody will offer him $11-12 million, and I think he's had enough of his wife work, so he's probably going to get out of the house. So he doesn't need the money.
No, not anymore.
I saw the other day. I think he's made
between the two of them.
He's made $130 million or something. But
being mediocre, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, but he's very, he has those flashes. He just has never.
I stuck up for him for years.
Yeah.
We both did. I stuck up for him and said, no, just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
I felt like someone was beating me in the face with a ball-peen hammer.
Rick loved the part where he'd get over on the sideline with the coaches and whine, and have that push face look. So,
we weren't quite asked to leave a few sports bars.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they were glad to see us not come back because I would be screaming at the screen.
Yeah.
Well, both him and I we're both very vocal when we watch our football. We're very passionate. Even Shaka's like, oh my God, FSU, yeah. No one signs a
Okay.
Shaka's saying no. I don't know, man. I didn't think it would happen last year. You just never know.
The thing about him is,
it's like sexy Rexy Grossman. Yet another horrible Chicago Bears quarterback. Knocked around for years. I couldn't believe people kept picking. And he'd be like, well, he's our third stringer. I'm like, why? What are you doing? It's not like you want him to play.
That's the thing about
really.
Cutler is Cutler's very smart. I mean, intellectually. He can come in and run any offense.
Yeah. You're right.
With
You're right.
very little preparation.
Yeah.
And make it go. Oh, he may be great. He may be awful.
And look like a complete douche doing it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do the face.
Yeah, while the checks are being deposited. So
I just made $12 million. Yeah, that's pretty much.
I haven't watched his wife's reality show yet, but I understand that the highlight of the reality show that his wife has is Cutler, mopey doping around and helping her and taking care of the kids. And,
I gotta do what?
Yeah. So
no, he seems like that dude that just doesn't. Yeah. Like he's not one of those dudes I can see going out and get a cup of coffee or a beer. Like he does not. All right. So what are the sleepers?
I got just a couple of sleepers. These are some we've already
just a little bit of time
about.
left, so we're gonna do some sleepers.
These are 3 quarterbacks to start with. One of them is Phillip Rivers. I love Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, he does.
I keep picking him up every year as a backup. I end up using him. This year, actually, the Chargers are projected to have a pretty good season.
Yep.
So, and he's just.
You're absolutely right, Shaka.
He just shows up. He does what he does, and if they ever put a decent defense on the field with him, why? He's going to be terrific. We've already mentioned Alex Smith. I'm a huge Alex Smith fan. I was only able to get him as a backup on one of my two
You called that a few weeks ago.
particular teams. We've used him for years. I've started him. I'll end up starting him half the games depending on the matchups.
Oh yeah.
And depending how Washington develops through the year, then that's the part I'm not so sure about.
Is Gruden still?
Yes.
The younger Gruden?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have two Gruden coaches now. I've already mentioned Tyrod Taylor, the quarterback in Cleveland. It may be that he'll be the quarterback for just 4 or 5 years, at which case, which point you can.
Shocker agrees with the Chargers.
Yeah.
No, I think they're a team to watch.
You can dump him if you want, or keep him as a backup. But we'll see. There's one running back for the Patriots, guy by the name of Rex Burkhead. Like him a lot.
What's his name? Who?
Rex Burkhead.
Okay.
Yeah. He's kind of a power running back, but he catches the ball very well.
Which we love. Great combo. Good amount of points right there.
And Chris Hogan, wide receiver for the Patriots, once again. So Julian Edelman will be. I don't remember when Julian Edelman's coming back, but he's going to be back this season. So at the point that Julian Edelman, I've got Julian Edelman sitting on my bench, by the way. The wide receiver
we like him. We've used him quite a few years.
Yeah, he and Gronk are Brady's favorite targets.
Go-tos, yeah.
Another wide receiver that will not be heavily owned. It's a good bet is Cooper Kupp, K-U-P-P, with the Rams. And
I think Shock. I don't know if you agree with this. California teams have a lot of talent this year.
Oh yeah,
a lot. The California, San Francisco, L.A., San Diego, or they're not called San. L.A.
Everybody's L.A. And Oakland is soon to be Las Vegas. So.
Yeah, but the California teams, there's a lot of talent to pick up.
So, and Seattle, nobody's quite sure. I mean, Russell Wilson literally accounted for all but one of their touchdowns last year.
Something like that.
Either running or passing. So
like 85% of their points.
It's hard to imagine him having
that was because of
that good of
the
a
kicker.
Year. All right, Rick on the Rocks, before we sign off here. Atlanta at Philadelphia is our opening Thursday night game. Who you got?
Atlanta, Philly. I'm gonna go Philly. I'll go Philly.
I agree.
I think Atlanta is gonna be a bust this year. A big bust.
We got two other 13-3 teams, which Philadelphia was. It's Minnesota opens at home.
Shaka says the entire wide receiver core is dangerous for the Rams. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, very good. Minnesota hosts San Francisco.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be a good time.
I don't know, man. We'll see. Well, we're going to see if San Francisco was the real deal last year.
Houston and New England, the other 13-3 teams. So there were 3 13-3 teams last year: Philadelphia, Minnesota, New England. They're all opening at home. They all have winnable games. So we'll see how that goes. There's a couple of games.
Chris and Shaka picked Falcons over Philadelphia.
Well,
why?
I'm
not disagreeing. Just why?
In daily fantasy, I use the Falcons all the time. I stack them, is what it's called, or handcuff them, depending on what terms you like to use. I love to use.
What game are you playing?
Devontae, Matt Ryan, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman. Those are your 2 running backs, and then you got Julio and.
Okay.
Who had an off year this last year, although he had a lot of catches, he just didn't have the touchdowns. And then they have several other very good pass catchers and a serviceable tight end.
Do you think Philadelphia is going
to? Why not?
That's what I think.
I don't see why not.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they'll have a sophomore slump like everybody else. I don't think.
I mean, to go 13-3, if you'll notice, there's only 3 teams that were 13-3. That's it's just difficult to do. It's difficult to repeat.
Sure.
The main thing is to win your division games.
Too talented to flop 2 years in a row. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Good point.
I think Dad might be agreeing with you. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I think you're swinging him.
I am. My good friend Marshall is a big Atlanta Falcon fan, but he gets Marshall's a little too emotional when it comes to his team. So
we can't really point fingers at anyone that's like that. Let's be honest.
No, not after Saturday night's performance. Monday night's performance. I mean, oh, are we back?
We had a slight malfunction. I don't know what happened. We're back.
All right.
All right. So, thanks a lot again for watching Rick on the Rocks and Dad Fantasy Football Extravaganza.
Yeah, good luck with your team.
Week 1, yes, definitely good luck. Good luck to everyone.
Or your drafts if you still have some. And
if you have any more questions, comments,
let them fly.
I think
wait a minute.
Is the difference maker.
Yeah.
I'll be close. His leadership, Nick Foles was yeah, no, you're right.
No, Foles has.
Shaka, you're kind of good at this.
Yeah.
You must like football.
Well, Shaka's like me.
Really
Shaka and I
feel like Shaka's like a walking encyclopedia.
Have an understanding here. You know, you do the season long, you do the daily, you do the, whatever you got to do.
But thanks to everybody that chimed in and watched us. We're more popular than ever here in season 2, and we really sincerely appreciate all of you watching and chiming in. But no, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to message us. And we'd love to, keep it back and forth going.
Yeah.
Or if you have anything, hey, we'd like to hear you talk about this next week. We completely open.
It's kind of tough talking about the preseason because it really, who knows. But once the games begin, well, and we're going to have story time. We got some new story times coming up. Everybody looks forward to that.
Finally. I thought you were going to bring out story time this week, but
no.
That's all right.
Not till the season begins.
Okay. All right. Well, much love. And like my friend Chaka said, peace and blessings to all of you. Take care, and we will see you next week, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
See ya.